Quick disclaimer, this video was filmed back in March for UK Mother's Day, and then I ran out of time to edit it. So what you are seeing now is that video on American Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the Americans out there. But there are some references to UK Mother's Day, which is in March in this video. Please ignore that and pretend that this video was made for American Mother's Day. I'm sorry it's so late. Happy Mother Day to everyone in the UK. Yes, today is the one day of the year where we celebrate our one true mother, Patti LuPone. Patti LuPone, you are such a diva. Thank you for everything you do. And yeah. Oh, it's Mother's Day? For mums. This video is going to make a little bit less sense. This video is an amalgamation of two different ideas, and I think it is peak Ellie chaos in that sense. Yes, today is Mother's Day in the UK. I know you Americans celebrate it later in the year, which is wrong, so I wanted to celebrate different musical theatre mothers and rank them on a tier list from Please Adopt Me all the way to Nope, Nah. But looking at these characters, it's quite easy to see where they place, and I wasn't sure how interesting of a video it would be, and then it clicked, because I was watching a video of our Lord and Saviour Stacey-Coombe, and I was like, that's so mother. And I was like, oh, wait, what if I also ranked these characters on a mother tier list? If you are a little bit unaware of what I'm deeming as mother in this instance, when someone is so mother, it's because they're an iconic feminine figure. Typically someone who is a little bit older, but being mother is an energy. It's a diva sense. Patti LuPone, she is mother. Cher, she is mother. Celine Dion is mother. She is an iconic feminine figure, a diva of the highest order, and we can only give her the love and respect that we would give to our mother, for she is indeed mother. So, not only today will I be ranking these musical theatre mums and mum-adjacent characters on this mother's tier list, but I will also be ranking them on the mother tier list. From Call Me Mother to Could Never Be Mother. This is the weirdest concept for a video I've had in a while. Let's just jump straight into it. But if you haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Ellie. I talk about theatre. I am the most chaotic theatre person on the internet. I do reviews, I do discussions, I do versus brackets, rankings, and this. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps with the channel. But let's dive into Mother and mothers. So I've gone for a large selection of different musical theatre mums and mum-adjacent characters, and characters who could be deemed as mother. And let's see where they each place. We're going to start with Heidi Hansen from Dear Evan Hansen. Now, when we're speaking about mums in musical theatre, I'm looking for someone who's caring. You know, they may make mistakes. That's part and parcel of the job. But that care for their child needs to be there. And I want to know whether I want to be adopted. Do I want to be adopted by this musical theatre mum? And, you know, Heidi Hansen, she is a single mum who works one job, who loves her kid and never stops. Even when that kid does absolutely horrific things. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, Evan Hansen. Wow. She's constantly pushing Evan to, you know, go for opportunities, constantly trying. You know, she flubs up here and there, but it's always because she's working. It's always because she's trying to provide for her son. I can't get mad at Heidi Hansen flubbing up when those flubs are good intentioned. We understand through the musical how much Evan means to Heidi. She's very clear to state it and state that love, to make sure that Evan knows that he is appreciated and loved, even when he doesn't feel like that. Even when he's going to this other family for a life he doesn't feel like he could have. It's interesting. But I do think at the end of the day, Heidi Hansen is a strong working, good mother who Evan does not appreciate enough. And I will say that right now. I would put her in very happy to be my mum. I would be very happy if Heidi Hansen was my mum. I don't think it's quite Please Adopt Me because, you know, she is struggling with the work-load balance with one child. I'm not giving her another. But I would be happy. I would be contented. But is she mother? Is she? I mean, there are some big diva moments in Dear Evan Hansen that does make her go up on that mother tier list. She is a diva. She understands. I mean, have you heard Good For You? That song is Mother. If the gays heard Heidi Hansen sing that song in front of them, her family would go from 1 to 1 billion. Every gay on this earth is crowding around her. I think she's got to go high. Is she Call Me Mother? Oh, I think she has a couple of diva moments that make her high on that list. But I think she's going to be one of our characters who actually matches her placement on both tier lists. I think she is serving. She is serving. We're going to go for one of the worst mothers in Margaret White from Carrie, the musical. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You know, Margaret, she is a mother. And that's all we can say on that. She guilts Carrie, she doesn't let her grow up, she's controlling, she's manipulative, she's not a very good mum. If she would just, stop being awful, maybe Carrie wouldn't have gone on that whole spree at the end of Carrie, I don't know. The repression and the guilt and the anxiety that Carrie holds is all because of her mother. It is absolutely tragic. She's got to go. There is no replacement for her. Then nope, nuh-uh. I do not want her to be a mother to anyone, let alone me. But is she mother? This is so silly. This is so silly. Why am I doing this? I don't want to say that she could never be mother, because there are certainly diva moments. If we can give Margaret White anything, there are diva moments. But those diva moments are not iconic. Those diva moments are very conservative. And no. That's not diva behavior. I'm sorry. That's not diva behavior. I honestly want to match her placement again and say never could be mother, but I feel like, there are a couple moments. I'm trying to push this. I don't even know if I agree with this. But I would put her in not Sasha Colby approved. Going from one Margaret to another Margaret, we have Margaret New from Everybody's Talking About Jamie, and this is a much better mother. Honestly, very similar to Dear Hansen, which is funny because there is crossover within the casting of these two roles. She makes mistakes, but she's always there fighting in Jamie's corner. Does she understand everything? No. But does she try? Absolutely. I feel like she's a very loving mother. Another single mum who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops. Honestly, I would put her in Very Happy to Be My Mum, and honestly, above Heidi Hansen. But is she mother? I don't think she has as many diva moments. I think she's a loving mum, and I definitely put her high on there, but I'm not sure that she is mother. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure that she is mother. Do you know who is mother and would be going into Call Me Mother if she was on this list? Ray. Ray is mother. That is the definition of mother. That moment when Margaret and Jamie have both left the meeting with Miss Hedge, and Ray stays in there and just looks Miss Hedge up and down. That is mother. That is a diva moment. Iconic feminine figure who is slaying so hard. You know what? I'm going to have to edit it in post, but I'm going to put Ray on here and she's going in to Call Me Mother. But I feel like, I feel like she could be mother. It feels weird putting her in the same tier as Margaret White. You know what? We're moving Margaret White back down. I'm absolutely not having that. She can never be mother. But I feel like Margaret New is not quite, she's not mother, but she is a good mum, and we love that. Miss Honey. Oh my God, please adopt me. Oh my God, please adopt me. Oh my God, please adopt me. Miss Honey is the perfect teacher and the perfect mum. She is born to be a mother. She's caring. She's compassionate. She fights for her adoptive child even before she has been adopted. The amount of time that she takes into making sure Matilda is happy and learning and doing what she needs to do, that is mother behavior. When it comes to being a mum, not mother, this is confusing. So obviously, Miss Honey is going into Please Adopt Me. Are you going to argue with me? Are you really? Are you really? Please. But is she mother? I think she's definitely serving. She is an iconic feminine figure, but is she diva? No, she's too scared to be that confrontational. She will do it. She'll do it, but it takes her a lot of time to build up to that. And a diva, she will have no hesitation in standing up for what is right and what is iconic. So I don't think she can go into Call Me Mother, but I also don't think she's not Sasha Colby approved. That's kind of like my middle bracket, but she is serving. She does what needs to be done. Does she need some more energy to be mother? Sure. I'll put her in serving. I could see an argument for not Sasha Colby approved, but while she will have to take her time to build the confidence to do it, she will do it. And she will be mother. Next up, the mum from The Lion King. I think her name's Sarabi. What does she do in this musical successfully? Quickly. I swear, this character does like nothing. Her husband being killed, being pushed off a cliff by her brother-in-law, son being chased away. What does she do? What does she do? All of this horrible stuff is happening. What does Sarabi do? I don't know. I mean, have I not seen Lion King in a long enough time? It has been a little while. Am I forgetting a really iconic thing that Sarabi does in The Lion King? Please do let me know if I am forgetting. But right now, I don't even think not perfect, but tries is good enough. Honestly, because I'm putting Sarabi in here, I'm just gonna change it to not perfect. I mean, doesn't she have like some confrontation with Scar? Or am I mixing her up with Nala? What does she do? But is she mother? I mean, she is, first of all, looks-wise, she is serving. She's got the makeup on point. She's got the cool headset. Like, the look is mother. But I do think she would be not such Colby approved. I don't think she would be. I don't know. The more I think about it, the less I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. She just, I don't know. Am I being too rude? Am I being too cruel? I don't know. Maybe someone's going to come up and go, hey, Ellie, you forgot this massive subplot in The Lion King where Sarabi absolutely decks, just roundhouse punches Scar right in his lion face, and then I'd be like, that is mother, and then she could go up. But in my mind right now, knowing what I remember from The Lion King, no, she is not mother, and she's not a great mum either. Jenna. Now, we don't get many moments in the musical to see Jenna being a mum. We can tell that she is very loving and caring. She is also a single mum who works one job, who runs a business and never stops. I would be very happy to have her as my mum. Is she above Heidi? Yeah, she's above Heidi. But is she mothering? A bit, yeah. Is she call me mother? Depends on who's playing her. Because sometimes, there are actresses who will play a role and then every role they play is therefore mother. And I definitely think there's been some actresses to play Jenna who are indeed mother. But is Jenna herself mother? I mean, maybe. I think she's serving. Mainly because I like the idea of it being a pun on her serving pie. There you go. That's my argument. Nothing else. Nothing. You thought this video was going to be serious arguments about this? No, not in the slightest. Mrs. Wormwood. Nope, nuh-uh. She is... do you need me to explain? Matilda is literally neglected. She only wants to do dance tournaments and I don't know. But the thing is, while she is a terrible mother, she is... mother. Are you kidding me? She is mother. She is a diva of the highest order. She will stand up for herself, which, makes her have the energy of a mother. Not of a mum, but as mother. I definitely correlate mother with diva a lot of the time. And I mean, there's no one who is a bigger diva than Mrs. Wormwood. She is mother. She is also a terrible mother, though. Madame Thénardier from Les Mis. She's definitely someone who will stand up for herself. She's very sassy. She's very confident. I mean, when we're looking at younger Eponine and younger Cosette, she's obviously very awful to Cosette, but that isn't really her daughter. So it's weird the balance we have to play here with she's awful to Cosette, but Eponine, pretty okay. Pretty okay. Not amazing, but pretty okay. So can I put her straight into nope, nuh-uh? I feel like there's definitely an argument, but maybe she's not perfect. There's definitely some motherly love in there. Somewhere. We can then look later into musical when Eponine is older, and I feel like that's definitely giving her some minus points there. But yeah, I can't say that she is as bad as Margaret White and Mrs. Wormwood. She's bad, but she's not as bad. So I will reflect that in her going one tier above, which feels weird, but I feel like I've made a case for it. Is she mother? Do you know what? Yes. I would say Madame Thénardier is mother. She is a diva. Have you seen her little monologue during Master of the House? That is diva behavior. This man has sung an entire song. He has sung an entire song about how he's amazing, how everyone loves him. And in one single verse, Madame Thénardier undercuts him completely and completely roasts the man. If she was on RuPaul's Drag Race, she would have won that roast and probably won the crown from that episode alone. Like, that is mother behavior. I would indeed call her mother. She is mother. I can't not argue it. I can't argue it. I love a woman who can put a man into his place. And I love that. Next up, who is this? I think that's Jack's mum from Into the Woods. I don't know. There's some mother characters on here who I couldn't find good, like, production photos for. So I just went with, like, the nearest thing. And I think that is Jack's mum from Into the Woods. What does she do in that musical? Is it going to be a Sarabi situation? I mean, you know what? Actually, thinking about it, Jack's mum. She comes in, she's like, Jack, I know you love this cow. This cow is literally the thing you love the most. But guess what? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. That's not mother. That's not a good mum. You can tell that this cow means a lot to your child and you're going to make him get rid of it? At least Meir only sent the daughter that isn't hers out to the well in the darkness. Maybe I should have ranked her lower. Like, what's more cruel? Sending a child out into the darkness on their own, making them sell the favorite thing of all time, literally describes it as their only friend, and still makes them sell it. Nope, nuh-uh. Nope, nuh-uh. But is she mother? No, I wouldn't say she's mother. I wouldn't say she's mother. She has a great, like, little section in that musical. She gets one of the best lines in the entire show. There's no time to sit and diver while her withers wither. Great line. Stephen Sondheim. I feel like she's too pushing. She's too whiny. She's too boring to be mother. She's not iconic. She's not iconic. I'm sorry. She's not mother. Kim from Miss Saigon. Now, there is a clear dedication in Kim. She wants her son to have a better life and you know, she is willing to do everything. She sings this huge song of declaration to her son, saying that he will have a better life than she can have. And you know what? That is exactly what you want in a mum. Someone who is going to put everything on the line to make sure that you are going to live your best life. I feel like Please Adopt Me would be a strong spot. I could see arguments maybe that she should go into the tier below, but I think she's definitely a good mother. She does what needs to be done. This is also coming with a caveat that I haven't seen Miss Saigon in quite a while, so maybe I'm forgetting something that should mean that she's lower, but she's a dedicated mum. She'll do anything. If her son went running away and the least trustworthy person in the world said that he died, Kim would not just stand still. Kim would not just sit back and allow that. Kim would be out there hunting until she is holding the body in her hands, unlike Sarabi. Sarabi is catching all the shade this episode. I don't know why. Is she mother? Absolutely. Now, is she serving or is she call me mother? I mean, I feel like she's a little bit, she's on the younger side to be considered mother, but definitely someone who has the energy. I'm going to put her in serving. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with serving. She is serving, but she is a great mum. Regina George's mum from Mean Girls, Mrs. George. There is an argument to be made here, right? Because, you know, she's cringe, but it's all coming from a place of trying to relate to her daughter, seeing her daughter doing stuff and just trying to be there, trying to relate. I can't be too angry with her. Is she a good mum? Not really. I'd probably say not perfect. You know, I wouldn't really be happy with her being my mum. I don't want to be adopted by her. I wouldn't say she's like the worst. She's too wrapped up in the vibe that she's missing it, and I think she's not perfect. But is she mother? No. You know what? I don't think she is mother. Okay? I don't think she is. And I will tell you why. I don't think she's that iconic. She's iconic, but not for the reason of, like, being an older feminine figure, for being that. I think she's too wrapped up in that teenage vibe that she's going for, that she can't really be mother. She's not even associating herself with the idea of mother. I can't in good conscience place her anywhere above could never be mother. As long as her actions continue like this, I don't think there's any universe where she could be mother. If she stopped that, if she was better, if she was trying, maybe she could move up to not Stacey-Coombe approved, but I don't see it for her. I don't see it for her. The wicked stepmother from Bad Cinderella, or Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cinderella, because I've got a photo from Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cinderella here. Before it was called Bad Cinderella. Okay, as a mother, the wicked stepmother, not great. She's rude, she's awful, she's, even to her own daughter, she's not great. Like, no, she's not a good mother. I feel like there is no argument to be made for any tier other than nope, But she is played by Victoria Hamilton Barrett. And Victoria Hamilton Barrett is one of those people who is mother, and every role that they play is indeed mother. If you are looking for an iconic feminine figure who is confident, who has the style, who is slaying night and day, who is doing it flawlessly, I think she is indeed going into Call Me Mother. Confidence and power and fighting back are huge, huge in mothering, which is why some of these characters going into Call Me Mother are some of, like, the worst mums. Because they have that confidence and they have that, like, that standoffishness, and they are divas. And if you are a diva, you're going all the way up there. You're going all the way up. But what I'm really enjoying about this tier list so far, doing both at the same time, is that it's not just like one side is high and the other is low. Like they're mixing up. It's interesting. Love that. Next up, we have another character from Into the Woods. Let's see if this ranks higher than Jack's mum. We have the witch. Don't think they're ranking much higher. Okay, so the witch, when it comes to being a mother, kind of takes on the role of Mother Gothel. She's like Rapunzel in a tower. She's very protective. Like, she's an adopted mother because she stole the baby. There's arguments, there's fights. I don't think she's a very good mum. I don't think so. There's definitely some care in there, like some, if you want to give her the benefit of the doubt, which I'm trying to do, to decide whether she should be not perfect or nope, nuh-uh. Yes, Rapunzel loses all her freedom, but at least Rapunzel doesn't have to sell her best friend. Jesus Christ, Jack's mum, I can't believe I'm legitimately considering the witch to be a better mother than you. Wow. But is she? Probably not. Let's put her into nope, nuh-uh. But is she mother? Again, she's been played by a lot of people who are indeed mother. Meryl Streep, huge mother. Huge mother energy. If you want to look to the stage, I mean, Bernadette Peters is mother. Hannah Waddingham. Oh my God, Hannah Waddingham is indeed mother. Now, come on now. It's either serving or call her mother. She's too much of a diva. Have you heard her rap at the start? She is loving every moment and the gays are living. If you meet a musical theatre gay and they don't know Into the Woods, they're lying. I'm sorry. I can't see her anywhere else but Call Me Mother. But how high into Call Me Mother? I mean, I'd swap those two around. I think there. I'm happy with going there. Next up is a musical that some of you may not know, but this is Carol's mum from 42 Balloons. Carol's mum has got the diva energy. I can't wait to rank her on the other tier list. But I feel like, she's very standoffish. She's very, stern. Especially when you look at a song like Somebody's Story, where she's explaining how she got involved with this whole plot. And, the initial arguments against it and the standoffishness that she has. But it all comes from that love. It all comes from that love and that care. That duty of care she has for Carol. That's where the mistrust of Larry comes in. But when she understands and she sees that Carol is doing this and Carol wants to do this and she's determined and a lot of this is coming directly from Carol, not from Larry, she decides to join in. She decides to do what she can to help, to give the space to do the launch. And you know what? That is good mother behavior. That is good mum. That is good mum behavior. I would put her in very happy to be my mum. Yeah, not please adopt me. Not please adopt me just yet. But definitely very happy. And I'd say hi. Is she mother? There's no argument. Are you kidding? Honestly, I'd put her so high. I'd put her high because not only is she mother, but she's a good mum as well, which has to score more points. Go listen to the 42 Balloons, like, demo tracks that they've released. Listen to somebody's story and tell me at the end of that she is not mother. You can't. You can't. Next up, we have Amandine Poulan from Amelie. She's not a good mom. She kind of takes on this role of mum and teacher and is the whole reason that Amelie is so self-conscious throughout the rest of this show. Because she teaches this story about a lifeboat at sea. It's sailing across the ocean, and it's how she teaches this paradox of how you can never truly reach another object, which Amelie takes into her whole life, and that is the whole reason why she never forms meaningful relationships. Wow, congratulations, Amandine Poulan. You really done did fuck Amelie up. Is she nope nuh-uh? Or is she not perfect? I hate to say it, but she's nope nuh-uh, and I can give you one reason for it. Because if Jack's mum is in this tier, then Amandine Poulan has to be in this tier because they do basically the same thing. Jack's mum forces Jack to sell the cow. And what happens to Amelie's best friend, the only friend she has, the fish? Thrown into the ocean. If I'm going to be this judgmental on Jack's mum, I have to be equally as judgmental on Amandine Poulan. I'm so sorry. But is she mother? There's definitely diva moments that I would say could push her up, but I would say she's not Sasha Colby approved. I don't think she's serving just yet. She's too... she's a bit neurotic. She's a bit... I don't know. I don't think she's quite giving mother. Next up, we have Trina from Falsettos, played by our mother, Stephanie J. Block. Before we speak about Mother, which is going to be raised up because played by Stephanie J. Block, one of those people, every role that she plays is Mother by comparison. Just by that association, they are indeed Mother. But is she a good mother? I think, there's definitely things that she struggles with, but she's honestly always doing things for the love of her son. She's gone through some very difficult things in her life that she's struggling with. She's just gone through divorce. She's struggling with that. She's struggling to comprehend the relationship that her ex-husband has gone into. But eventually she does. Eventually they all become this huge extended family. It is a musical about fan family. And if you know me, I love a fan family story. That speaks to my heart. Why do you think characters like Miss Honey are on here? That is a found family story. That is indeed a found family story. And I love that. And that speaks to my heart. And that is why she will adopt me. But I feel like she's definitely... there's elements that make me kind of go between these two. I think she's either high here or low here. And that's the thing. Because if we're looking at her in Act 1, yeah, there's definitely more of an argument here. But Act 2, she's doing a lot better. There's moments where she flubs up, but it's not as bad as Heidi Hansen. But I don't think the heights are as good as Heidi. I feel like it balances out. I'll put her at the bottom of Very Happy to Be My Mum. Yeah. But is she Mother? I think she's serving. Have you seen I'm breaking down? That is a diva moment and a half. So much meat on the bones there. Love it. How high is she? I think she might be the highest of this tier. Oh, but you know what? Again, I'm comparing her to Heidi Hansen. And I do think Heidi Hansen, Good For You, is so like fighting back. I think that's more diva. I'd put her here. Another character who has like 2 lines in the entire musical is Elwood's mum. Once again, I could not find a good production photo. So this is from a production of Legally Blonde. Don't know whose it is, but it's here. It's hard to say because Elwood's mum does literally nothing in this musical. She joins a parade and she offers Elle a new Birkin bag. That's about it. It's hard to make an argument for a character who does kind of nothing. He doesn't really do anything. So, I guess that would even her out to, like, the middle, I guess. She's not bad. She's definitely, like, very loving and appreciating of Elle. It's honestly her father who comes out in the worst light. She just doesn't really say much. And when Elle is clearly making waves and needs people to rally by her side, she comes out. She's there. She's getting the pictures. She's celebrating her daughter. I feel like, again, if I had a middle tier, maybe it'd go there. But I'm going to put her to the top of not perfect. There's definitely more that she could do and more that she could say. But, yeah. But is she Mother? No, I mean, maybe depending on how you play those lines, there could be a diva-ishness to it, but I don't think she's Sasha Colby proved. I would say she's lower on the mother tier list than the mum tier list, but yeah. Now, here's the character who's going to rank high on both of these lists. Morticia Addams. Morticia has clear morals. She is raising her children with those clear morals and she is standing by them. She wants and makes sure that her family is following by the Addams family code. She is married into this family and she's going to make sure of that. She is a woman who knows her worth, who knows exactly how she should be treated. And if she's not getting the respect and love she deserves, she is out of there. She will throw away in a second if a man is not giving her exactly what she needs and deserves. And you know what? That has to be appreciated. And even so, even in that moment, she is making sure that her son is getting the bedtime stories that he loves and making sure that he knows that there is a monster in the closet and underneath the bed. Although she is hesitant to do so, she does eventually give Wednesday what she wants, taking on the more traditional role of the housewife just to impress this family. And you know what? That's a good mother. A mother who can recognize the times where, you know, she needs to take a step back on some of those ideals and do what she needs to do to provide for her family. I would say that she's Please Adopt Me. I feel like Honey is still sort of top of this list, but I put her second place. Yeah. And is she mother? Do you know what I think she is? She is top of the list. Again, it's the role that's been played by Michelle Visage, and Michelle Visage's mother, so it's easy to correlate the two. But as well as that, Morticia is just the definition of mother. Now, come on, a woman who knows what she wants, who knows her standing in life, who needs to be respected and appreciated for that, who is willing to fight for herself. Is there anything else that is more mother than that? I'm sorry, I don't think there is. Next up, we have Mrs. Green. Now, this is really hard because Kerry Washington, mother. Mrs. Green, she has the vibe and the energy of mother, but she's not giving good mum and she's not giving that much mother. Okay. Mrs. Green is just being awful. She's being very stinky. She's being kind of homophobic, but kinda. She's being homophobic throughout this entire musical, and she doesn't quite realize that, yep, the person that she is being awful towards, also her daughter. Wow, she's not a great mom. Let's put her in nope, nuh-uh. She's too hard on her daughter as well. If we're gonna look beyond the homophobia of it all, she's too hard on her daughter. She's too expecting of her daughter. She's not a great mom. She's not great. Not great. She does eventually stand aside, but no, not great. Not great at all. Is she mother? I don't think you can be homophobic and be mother. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I think that would instantly deny you mother status because the gays aren't going to respect you. And that's very important to be mother, to be that diva, to be that icon. And if you're going to be stinky, then we can't have you. I'm sorry, you could never be mother. And I think you're the lowest. I think you are definitely the lowest. This does open up the fact of any of these other characters are homophobic. And I haven't really appreciated. I mean, Madame Thénardier would probably be. Her husband definitely is. But I guess we can also account for different time periods as well. I guess we can give her the benefit of the doubt there, which we can't give to Mrs. Green. Get out of here. It feels wrong placing Kerry Washington that low. But that character is not mother. Mama Morton. Now, Mama Morton is not a mum in the sense of, you know, having a daughter, but she's someone who is mother adjacent, you know? And we're going to get into a couple characters here who are indeed mother adjacent. Mama Morton, I don't think she's a perfect mum. I mean, you know, we have the whole Good to Mama song, but that's not really what she's like. I mean, it feels weird to not put her in Nope, Nuh-uh, but I feel like there's probably some motherly instincts that she would have. I don't think she'd make her child sell their favorite thing in the world, so I'm going to put her there. But is she mother? Absolutely she is. Oh my god. The entrance that she makes, the entirety of When You're Good to Mama, the stage presence, and the fact that she's been played by Jinx Monsoon. There is so much mothering that this mother could do, and she has to go into Call Me Mother. How high up? Pretty high. Let's put her there. I'm happy with there. Oh, there. I'm happy with that. But there. We're going to put it there. God, there's so many mothers. I didn't realize how many. It's very funny to look at this and see how Call Me Mother is like the biggest tier on this side, and then like Nope Nutter is the biggest tier on this side. I guess we've got some great mothers to come, but I don't know. The weighting of this is interesting. It's kind of the opposite, but like the characters aren't the same. This is intriguing my little brain. I love this. This is why I love a weird tier list video. Celine Dion from Titanic, specifically the Titanic version. We're not speaking about the real Celine Dion, we're speaking about Titanic Celine. Is Celine Dion a mum? Oh, she is. She has 3 children. She is mum. She is a mum, which therefore qualifies her for both lists. Let's go. I mean, could you imagine having this chaotic of a mum? That would be iconic. Miss Celine Dion is slaying so hard in that musical, but like I think she'd be a very entertaining mum. I don't think she's Please Adopt Me, but I'd say I'd be happy. Like towards the bottom of happy, but I'd be happy. But is she mother? Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no argument. She is mother. I do think she's, again, quite low on that list. I put her above Madam T, but no, she's got to be higher. Surely she's got to be higher. The diva moments she has in that show are unparalleled. She comes in, makes an already existing story all about herself, inserts herself in so naturally, and gives herself multiple solos. I'm sorry, that's mother. The fact she can do all of that, and we're still obsessed with her, she has to go high. I'd say there. She is indeed mother. This fake version of Celine Dion carries the same energy as the real Celine Dion, who is mother, and therefore she has to be considered a mother as well. Is it cheating that I've put Cher from the Cher show on here? Yeah, is Cher a mother? Does Cher have children? Cher does have children. She counts. I do love Cher. Would I be happy if Cher was my mum? Like, legitimately thinking about this. Would I be happy if Cher was my mum? This is weird because that is a biomusical, and I've tried to avoid, like, real people on there, but I've mainly put her on here for, like, the other list. I'll put her into very happy. Similar placement to Celine Dion. But is she mother? Do I need to say anything? Do I really need to justify this one? Are you kidding me? Are you being serious? Do you really need me to justify this one? I feel like it's just part and parcel. Like come on. Donna Sheridan from Mamma Mia. Donna's hardworking. Donna is providing. Donna is making sure that her daughter feels loved and cared for. There may be secrets that's kept, and you know, we can argue whether or not that was a good thing or a bad thing. We can have arguments with that, but I would say that's yeah, she is a good mum. She is a good mum. Definitely top 2 tiers, but does she go into Please Adopt Me? I feel like this is one where you're just gonna have to parallel. Like here, I think she's better there. I think she's better there. Honestly, I'd put her there. Yeah, I would. I would like to be adopted and help out on that Greek island. You know what? Yeah, I would. If I could have Meryl Streep walk me down the aisle, I wouldn't say no. And I definitely think she's mother. My gut instinct, I know it still sounds weird, but my gut instinct is here because she has her diva moments, but I don't think she's as iconic as some of these. She is definitely mother. That's why she's up in these 2. All of these characters, they can be considered mother. But she's either here or like here. She's definitely better mum than these, but is she more of a diva? I don't know. I don't know. She stands up for herself. Have you heard The Winner Takes It All? You know what? The Winner Takes It All bunks her up into top tier. This top tier is very heavy, but all of these guys are on par with their mothering. Mother superior? I mean, there's definitely moments of caring, and there's definitely that duty of care that she has for the people in a convent. She's not very open to Dolores, but that's because she's very doubtful of her and scared for the nuns that she looks after, you know? She may not be a mother in that sense, but she is a mother superior. You know, she's got mother in the name like Mother Morton, and she does have that care and that looking after of those nuns in the convent. Is she right all the time? No. Sometimes it takes a little kick up the backside to stop and to help. I put a top of not perfect because eventually she does kind of get herself into gear, and you know, maybe if there was Sister Act the musical 2, maybe she could go even higher, but I feel like not perfect for now. Is she mother? I mean, her attitude towards the drag queens, that's not mother. I wouldn't say could never be mother because there's definitely diva moments. There. We're going to go there. Is that too low? I don't know. Honestly, now I'm looking at it. Why is Margaret New so low? Margaret New could probably go there if I really wanted to, but I'll take a look at the end. Norma Desmond? I don't think she's mum. I don't think she's mum material. Now, she is one of the characters on here because, you know, she's going to be mother. But when it comes to being a mum, I think she's a bit too self-obsessed to be a mum. But that is going to get her high on the mothering tier list. Oh, she is a diva. She is diva boots. I don't think she's quite call her mother. I think she definitely comes into the tier just below. The tier just below. Very high there. But she is serving. She is serving. She is indeed an iconic feminine figure. I don't think there's any arguments against that there. Persephone. Now, Persephone in Greek mythology, correct me if I'm wrong, but she is a mum. So, yeah, but she's not a mother in Hadestown. She is mother in Hadestown, but she's not a mum. But there's definitely elements within her character of that caring. Look at her relationship with Orpheus and Eurydice. Look at how she cares for the environment. Look at how she cares in that respect. Look at some of my favorite moments of the performance from Persephone's is their reactions to what Hades is doing when Eurydice is tempted down into the underworld. What Hades does to Orpheus and how she's the one to fight. While that may not be a direct mum to children relationship, that is still parental. That is still looking out for them. And I think I would be very happy if Persephone was my mum. Let's place her there. And of course she is serving. She is mother. She is giving mother and she is serving and she is indeed mother. And I put her there. Again, another character who's been played by Victoria Hamilton Barrett. So yeah. And Amber Gray as well. Please, mother. If we're looking at an iconic feminine figure, I think Persephone holds up to all of that. I think Persephone stands her ground. I think Persephone definitely has moments where she holds herself back, and that's why I wouldn't quite put her in to call me mother. But there's a fight in there. There is a defense in there. Look at how long, and I think that is the justification of why she can go into the higher end of this tier list. This is probably the silliest choice. Audrey 2, absolutely bottom of the tier list. I don't want a man-eating plant to be my mum, but listen, because you'll notice that the photo I've used is the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre production, where Audrey 2 is played by a drag queen. If Audrey 2 is played by a diva, if Audrey 2 is played by a person who is giving that energy, who's giving that sass, I mean, even look at the reaction to when Seymour is like, this is what you've been doing. You're going to eat the entire world. And Audrey 2's just like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. And I want to thank you. Even that is diva behavior. There is no bigger diva than this plant. And I'm sorry. While I do not want her anywhere near parenthood, she is indeed mother. And I think she's going to be the one that tips the scales for Call Me Mother tier to be really, really big. Because she has to go high. She has to go high. Even when not played by a drag queen, Audrey 2 is that diva, is that mother. I think she's rivaling Cher. I think Tui is rivaling Cher. There is no bigger diva than that plant, let me tell you. Rose, it's interesting because I want to give Rose from Gypsy the benefit of the doubt of like everything she is doing is for her kids, but is also at that same time for herself. You see that with a song like Rose's Turn, where you see that attitude come full circle, and like you can kind of see that like all of the arguments are like, I did this for you, but really all of it is for her. Even to the very end, she doesn't quite realize that she's kind of just made her kids do this. She's awful to Louise, and then when her star child goes, that's the only time when Louise can take the spotlight. And I think there's definitely arguments here to be made that for Nope Nuh-uh. But I do want to say not perfect. Because there are moments in there where I can see the motherly love. There's definitely selfish elements, and it's all very selfish, but it's at least Louise doesn't have to sell her favorite thing in the world. But is she mother? She has been played by Patti LuPone, and Patti LuPone is indeed mother. She knows what she wants. She fights to get what she wants. Look at a song like Some People. Look at all of these huge ballady diva moments. Belting her heart. I think Rose's turn. I think there's definitely an argument for serving, but I'm gonna put her in Call Me Mother. I know we have so many mothers, but Can you blame me? Look at the material. Diana Goodman from Next to Normal is someone who is definitely struggling with being a mum. She's struggling with her mental health. She's struggling with all of this. She's struggling with the loss of her first child. I wouldn't say nope, nuh because I definitely think she is trying. There's definitely a care there, even if her daughter is being left out there. I feel like not perfect is the place I would go. I'd say there. Is she mother? There's diva moments. There's standing up for herself, which she definitely does. But I don't know if it's just me, but I don't look at her and go, that is mother. She's definitely an iconic feminine figure for sure, which would put her slightly higher. Maybe the bottom of serving. I could honestly even see that argument there, because I would I'd say that she's more iconic, definitely, than Margaret New. I put her there. Final few mums. Mrs. Johnston from Blood Brothers. Now, I famously don't really like Blood Brothers that much. That's why if you see me do like versus brackets and things, I very rarely put Blood Brothers on it. I like the script of Blood Brothers. I don't really like most of the music. But even when saying that, I will concede that Mrs. Johnston is an interesting character. You know, she's someone who is in a position where she's had loads and loads of kids, but she doesn't really have the money to be able to look after them all. So to give one of them a better life, she gives him up. That is a huge, huge sacrifice that she makes. And she's very uncertain with it. And there's a lot of humanity to that storyline in that musical. So even if I don't like the musical as a whole, there's definitely elements of that storyline that intrigue me and interest me and make her a very complex character. I don't think I would be overly happy for her to be my mum. That's the thing, though. If I'm looking at the names of these tiers, it's definitely not perfect that I put her into. I'd say there. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I feel like that's kind of fitting. Is she a diva? Absolutely. Will she stand up for what she believes in? Absolutely. Is she an iconic feminine figure? Absolutely. I think she's serving there. Fontaine Les Mis. Definitely a dedicated mother. Someone who I don't really want to adopt me, but I am thinking about like the best case scenario here. Like, you know, Kim is here, probably should be there, but like the dedication is definitely what pushes her up. And I could definitely make a similar argument for Fontaine here, yeah? I could definitely say, like, she is dedicated. She may not be in the best position to look after a child, but that's why she does what she does and gives the child to the Thénardiers. We can criticize that for all it's worth, because, wow, that was not a great choice, Fontaine. Literally anyone else, please and thank you. But, you know, she does what she needs to do. She's looking after her child. She loses her job because of her child and stands by that, you know. She has to do horrific things to herself. She dies eventually because of what she's doing all for her child. Definitely top 2 tiers. Definitely a dedication there. I feel like there. Middle of very happy to be my mum is what I would say in this instance. But is she mother? I can make an argument for both sides, honestly, which is weird. Because, like, I wouldn't say she's, like, the biggest diva. She just, you know, she fights back a little bit, but it's not to a huge enough extent that I would say call her mother. The biggest mother moment she has is when she stands up against the man who tries to, you know, the moment she pushes off and shouts at him, calls him a rat. That's diva moment. Diva moment that will get her up, but I think this is a diva moment that gets her into serving rather than call her mother. How high is she, though? I'd say, like, here. I think Persephone gets some bigger moments and stands up more. I'm happy with, like, being between there. Yeah. Next up, a teapot. It's so funny that I've got, like, the musical images of all these characters, except for Mrs. Potts. just have the teapot. Okay. Knowing that Mrs. Potts by the end of the musical will no longer be a pot, I'm going to put her in Please Adopt Me. I put her above, I'm going to put her above Kim. She's a caring mother. She's a dedicated mother. She is not only motherly to her son Chip, but she's also motherly and caring towards Belle as well. That is a sign of a great mother. Madam T could never. She's lovely, she's sweet, she's caring, she's that maternal figure. That is her whole being and essence in Beauty and the Beast. And I can't argue against that. But is she mother? She's sweet. She's iconic. she is a feminine figure. But if we're thinking about, like, mother, if we're thinking Patti LuPone, Sasha Colby, Cher, I don't think she quite has the bite to her to be mother. She is serving tea, but I'm not sure if she's serving. So I'm gonna, honestly, maybe controversially, I'm gonna put her to the top of not Sasha Colby approved. That may be controversial, I don't know. I'm gonna find out when you yell at me in the comments, but we're gonna go there for now. And the final mother to join this tier list, we have Edna Turnblad. Edna has simple wants and needs. She loves her family. She loves her job. She loves doing the ironing. She's been welcomed to the 60s. And you know what? There's definitely a love and a care in her. I think I would be very happy to have Edna Turnblad as my mum. She fights the good cause. She helps out. She's a diva. She's great. I love her. Yeah, I'd be very happy, but we're very happy to be my mum. Higher, honestly. Higher? I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put Edna right there. But is she mother? Look at her verse in You Can't Stop the Beat. And tell me, right here, right now, look at me face to face. Look at me straight in the eye. Tell me that is not diva behavior. Tell me that is not an iconic feminine figure fighting for what she believes in. I wouldn't quite say call her mother because, you know, there's more. There's just like Mrs. Potts, there's not enough bite, but I think there is more in there. I would put her above Diane Goodman, probably above Honey as well, but below Johnston. And I'm happy with that. So, before I finalize these, is there anyone I'd like to swap round? Honestly, I'm quite happy with these. Miss Honey, I definitely think is one of the best mums in musical theatre. And I'm very happy with that kind of top 5 there. Like, I'm very happy with that. Honestly, I'm even happy with my top 10 if we're going to take the ones below. And Carol as well, a lot higher than I thought she'd be, but you know, she does great. She mothers well. And on the other end, yeah, I'm happy with this. And on the other side, the Call Her Mother tier list. These are all of the biggest divas I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, I could pull Carol's mum down like 1 or 2 spots, like to there. And I'm happy everywhere else, honestly. I'm happy everywhere else. These two feel a bit harsh, but I feel like I've made my justifications. Yeah, these are my 2 completed tier lists. So what do you think? What do you think of this really silly concept that I've made for this video now? Which musical theatre character would you like to be your mum? Which musical theatre character do you see as mother? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. My God. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now and a link to my Instagram if you'd like to join me and follow over there. There's other social links and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.